Hi, welcome to the Story So Far. This is your host John Salvador, and this is something I've been seeing a lot in the finance, economic analysis lately, and this is something I've been talking about a lot in the past. And as you can see, there's a lot of things that I've talked about in the past that are happening right now, and I'm not claiming that I have a crystal ball or anything. It's just that I'm very curious about studying these areas, and I can see a lot of things before they actually happen, just because you see a trend, and that trend obviously indicates a direction, and hence the ability for me to be able to position my mind, my thoughts, my energy, my finances towards that direction, if that makes any sense. Anyway, what I'm talking about here today is it's one of my rants, if you like, but it's very factual, so just bear with me for a second. The government and the reserve banks want you to be a speculator. I'll read that again. The government, your government, any government in the world right now, and the reserve banks want you to be a speculator. What do I mean by that? Well, go have a look at the money in the bank if you have any. What sort of interest rate are you getting? I'm getting 1.2%. Your 0.8 that you're quoting there is not right. Okay, whatever, right? It's very low, isn't it? Yes, it is. And why do you think is that? If inflation's around 5% plus, and your money's less than 1% in the bank, you're already going backwards. We discussed that in the past. There's no arguing about that, okay? You want to go backwards, it's your problem, okay? But you cannot argue against that, okay? Back in the 90s, when I was still a young fella, a millionaire would be a person who would have $1 million, yeah? Very different than the narrative that you see today, right? Millionaires, a person, there's a lot of millionaires around here, right? But they have nothing. The people that own a house that's more than $1 million, they'll sell that. Where do you go? What do you do? At 0.8%, you say you put your money. People used to, for example, have their homes at $1 million, sell them, put the money in the bank at 5%, and have a $50,000 income a year in the 90s, and not so long ago, right? At 5%, 7%, so I'm being conservative. And this was very risk-free. You would have this in one of the major banks. You would have your $1 million in there. Maybe you didn't sell your house. Whatever you have from super and your life savings, and you make $1 million over a long period of time. I'm not talking about the lottery and any of that crap. And towards retirement, you will have that on your bank account at 5%. You will still preserve your $1 million, and you will withdraw $50,000 a year. And you will live out of that. Very simple, right? And a lot of us were brought up that way. I mean, until recently, that was my plan, right? I would grow assets, I would build base, I will save as much as I can, while also having some fun on the side, and eventually do this. But now, it's impossible, and I'll show you why. Right now, this is an example. The best rate you can get in a bank, it's about 0.8%. You could argue that on a treasury bond, you could get 1 point something, but it's very risky, okay? And even today, with new bank laws and regulations, they're not going to guarantee you $1 million. A lot of the banks only guarantee savings until $200,000. So if you have $1 million in there, there's about 80% of your money that's not being guaranteed by the bank. Eventually, maybe they'll give it back to you, but they could take months, potentially years to give it back to you. Or they could give you some stupid, I've seen this before, shares or some bullshit like that. They're going to take 10 years to recover your money and that sort of stuff. Be careful. It used to be very simple and basic. I'm not being fatalistic or negative about it. It's a reality. It's a facts. And then $1 million at 0.8% will be $8,000. You're not going to retire at $8,000. $8,000 most likely. And remember, these are 1990s dollars. This would be equivalent to 120 grand right now, okay? So be mindful, okay? It's even worse than what you think, okay? We're comparing apples with apples, okay? I don't mean this is in a negative way. All I am saying is that you have no choice. Yes, you gotta be a speculator, but choose to be on your own terms, not on their terms, okay? So that's why we've been talking about regional hard assets, right? Regional centers, positive cash flow property, hard assets like gold and silver, things that the government cannot touch, cannot manipulate, at least to a certain extent. Okay, things you can add value to it. I can go to one of my dinky houses, paint the fence, do the lawn, throw it around in front of the back, immediately increase value. I cannot go to CEO Coca-Cola, rub his nuts, and say, "I'll produce more because I want more income out of my shares." No, you cannot. Okay, you have no choice, brothers and sisters. You can. You got to be one. Choose at your own turn. Now, quickly going back to this. In today's dollars, just to have $50,000 a year, which you know is shit, it's nothing, right? This is like, poverty line type of income. I mean, if you have a family and stuff, if you're a single person, it's not too bad, right? Cool. You would need $6 million, okay? Now think about that. It's a very big amount of money for you to be able to amass just for a little return on a very risky environment, because you will have it on a bank that does not guarantee your savings. Inquire about the Glass-Steagall, all those new bank or not so old bank policies. They don't guarantee your deposits until a certain amount. Okay, back in the day, it was fine. There was certain places you could do it. You could split it in 3-4 banks. You still get 5%. Boom, off you go. Okay. Now in the 2020s, you can't do that and beyond. The interest rates are going to remain low, and I am thinking they will continue to go lower, the negative realm, like you still have in some countries in the world, Germany, some Swedish countries, Japan, and so on. I think America's going for it, and Australia, it's going to follow suit. Not sure how deep, but it's saying that though, inflation at 5%, interest rate at 0.8%, or your cash on your bank, you're already going backwards, so it's negative. Nominally, you are already on a negative interest rate territory, like it or not. Okay? Don't fool yourself, don't kid yourself. All the government banks in the world wants you to be a speculator and get your money out there so they can take it if you let them. But the reason I've been doing this for the last 6 months is to equip my friends and family with some strategies on how you can, yes, be a speculator as in investing, but you can do it in an informed way, and you're not going to let them take your money, okay? And I'm talking about the hard assets, your positive cash flow real estate, and gold and silver, and so on, okay? All right, so remember, this isn't about, I'm not crying, this isn't about the end of the world, it's about you taking control of your finances and invest in them, because what used to be okay is no longer okay. You cannot get a returns from the bank. Whatever return you can get more than 0.8% is going to be very risky. Treasury bonds, ETFs, all bullshit, all crap, all fake, all manipulated. So be careful, be a speculator, be a good one. Remember, you have no choice. Get your knowledge, build your knowledge, educate yourself. I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing my experience and some inspiration, and hopefully you'll be able to pick this material up, share it with friends, family, like it. Let's make some comments underneath. Let's have some discussions about it. Until next time, stay healthy.